Hey, hello. My name is Ron Kirk. I'm the owner of Arcadia Landscape. We are one of the only landscape companies in the city of Tucson that actually has a license to the Arizona Game and Fish that removes reptiles from your properties. The reason I want to make this video is to let the public know that Tucson Fire Department no longer will come to your residence and remove a snake unless somebody gets bitten by the venomous reptile. They're not poisonous. Rattlesnakes are venomous. Gila monsters are venomous. So there's a difference between poisonous and venomous. We do charge to come out, and our prices to come out and remove a reptile from your property, it's $110 during business hours. Those hours are from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. After hours is from 4 p.m. until 7 a.m. and that is after hours plus the weekends and the holidays. What I want to discuss with you is a lot of people do not want to pay the fee because they say they can't afford it, or they think it's ridiculous that they have to pay. And I've had some customers state that, well, I'll just do it myself. If you do it yourself and you get bit by a venomous reptile and you go to the hospital, a vial of anti-venom can cost upwards to $20,000 per vial. There was a gentleman I knew that got bit by a rattlesnake. He went to the hospital. The hospital gave him 3 vials of anti-venom. That's $60,000. His insurance would not cover it. So my advice to you is to contact your insurance company to find out if you were to get bit by one, will the insurance cover it? My thought on this is that I would rather pay the $110 during business hours or pay the $150 after business hours, or you can take that gamble and wind up having to pay anywhere between $20,000 to $60,000, maybe $80,000 at the hospital. The choice is yours of what you want to do. You cannot play around with these things. So what I want to show you is some of the tools that we use when we get called to come to your house. Now, the one thing I want to go back on is that if you live in the city, and that's the city of Tucson city limits, if you live in the city and that reptile is in your home or that reptile is in your garage, the city will pay for it if you live in the city limits of Tucson. If you own a business, or if it's a hospital, any other things other than your home, you have to pay for it. The city will not pay for it. So again, it's $110 during business hours, $150 after hours. So what's more important? You want to pay $60,000 or $80,000 for the anti-venom, or do you want to go ahead and pay the $110 or $150 to get that reptile out of your house? Now, we do relocate them. We do not euthanize them. The only time we're allowed to euthanize them is under certain circumstances. For example, if one of them gets caught on a sticky pad, I am not going to try to remove it off of a sticky pad. It will eventually, it will tear him up and he's going to die anyway. So that's when we have to euthanize him. Also, we're only allowed to go about no further than a mile out. We can't go any further than a mile out. And we have to find open desert and release that reptile back into the community, excuse me. So there'll be times where the snake may come back, it may not, because it knows where its food is. During the day, you're going to find that the reptiles are going to find shade. They don't want to be out here in the dead of heat, so they're going to find shade. Once nighttime comes around, that's when they're out and they're looking for their food and they're looking for water. The same thing we do as humans. We're looking for food and we're looking for water. They're doing the exact same thing. People ask me all the time, I don't know, I've lived here 30 years. I've never had a snake here. I don't know why the snakes are here. You need to understand, and especially in Tucson, I'm not going to speak of any other parts of the country, but especially here, we moved in with the snakes. They didn't move in with us. They have been around here longer than we have. So you can't blame the reptile for being in its home area. Now, I want to now show you some of the tools that we use to get these reptiles off your property. This is what I call a snake grappler, okay? This thing will go from 3 feet to 4 feet, 5 feet, and now 6 feet. I can reach this reptile in any distance. And here's why it comes in different lengths. Number one, you got hard areas that you have to reach into. But the other reason is you got to remember, rattlesnakes will only strike half their body distance. So if you get a 5-foot rattlesnake, he's only going to strike 2.5 feet from where he's laying right then. So that's another reason why this thing extends into the lengths that it does, 3, 4, 5, and 6. At the end, it opens up. So that way I can grab it. Once I grab the reptile, I now have full control of it. This tool alone will run you anywhere, depends on where you buy it, runs anywhere between $60 to $100. And there's all different places you can buy them, but you need to know what you're buying before you buy it. You just can't just buy anything, because if you buy something and you get it in the mail and you try to use it and it falls apart, and then all of a sudden that snake bites you, well, you got to hire the people that know what they're doing. The other thing we use, it's called a snake hook. This is almost similar as a grappler. This here, it's got a point on the end here, and it's got a hook. This is for a couple things. One is to get into tight areas where I can kind of pull them out. The other thing is, if I have a large snake, I can grab them with the grappler, and then I can hook them on one end and let him lay there, so that way I can try to get him inside the bucket. This will also extend, and let me show you. There you go. So now it's the same thing as a grappler. I can get into long distances, or I can get into short distances. I mean, and let me tell you, I've used this a couple times, and it comes in handy very well. This tool here depends on where you want to get it. This right here will run you anywhere. I've seen them anywhere from $25. This one right here cost me $120. I believe in buying quality instead of quantity. So if I'm out there putting my life on the line, I want to make sure my tools work. The other thing we use, these are snake chaps. What these do, see if I can get it off. What these do, these will go over my shins. And let me show you. And let me tell you why you should wear these. These will go over like so. It will come around, and then I can clamp them on. And then these right here will help me from a snake striking at me and hitting my shins. Because you got to understand, snakes will strike at an angle and they'll strike level. Now, I'm not saying all snakes do that. There's some snakes I've seen where they'll strike straight up, but I've never seen a rattlesnake do that. I've only seen them strike at angles. So you'd want to wear these in tall grass, brush, anywhere that you can't see the rattlesnake, you'd want to wear these. Okay, these right here depends again where you want to buy them. These right here cost me $200. Again, quantity versus quality. That's what I have these for. And last but not least, this is our snake bucket. I have 2 of them. You have to, by law, when you have a bucket, you got to make sure you advertise what is in here. You don't want some kid coming by seeing a bucket and seeing this little fake snake that's on the top of it. Oh, mommy, look! Let me look inside. No, that ain't gonna happen. So I have it advertised all the way around that this is a venomous bucket. These are buckets that you cannot go to Lowe's or Home Depot and purchase one of these. You have to get online. You have to hunt for them yourself. I've done some modifications to this one myself. I've added this handle onto it. to where one, I can carry it around like this, but mainly it's when I take the lid off, I can use my grappler. If I lay it down like so, and then I want to, and I know there's a dangerous snake in there, all I gotta do is grab this, come up and put it on here, versus me having the snake in there and reaching down, and now my face is this close. I don't want to do that. So when you have a reptile on your property and it is venomous, call the people that know what they're doing, because your life is not worth you wanting to save $110 or $150. Yes, I charge. Why? Because I put my life on the line. I am using my fuel to get to the address where I need to go remove it. Then I have to go find a location to relocate it. Then I got to have time to take out of my day, and I have to do all my paperwork. I have two forms I send to the city, and I have one form I have to fill out for the Arizona Game and Fish, and that has to be turned in to January 31st of end of every year. So if you have any questions, or you have any concerns, or you're looking for somebody to come and relocate your reptile, you can give us a call here at Arcadia Landscape at 520-791-0889. I want to thank you for watching.